Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Sarah and I am your everything savvy friend. And the reason I call myself everything savvy is because on my channel I talk literally about everything under the sun. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. On the chopping block of today's chat, we have gas prices and how to beat the system, high yield savings accounts, which I've talked about a little bit before, and the balance between a 9 to 5 and everything else. So let's start with gas prices. Gas prices are a sore subject for a lot of people, obviously. They are what they are. In the few years before COVID, I know that we were paying $2 and some change, low $2 for a tank of gas. Now prices have been up to $4 at one point. The average right now, well, the average here in Florida in my area that I've seen is like $3.03 or whatever. So the fact of the matter is that if you buy wholesale, you can beat the system, because it doesn't matter if we're drilling on our own land for gas, or for oil rather, or buying it from another country. The wholesale price helps offset that difference, because I paid if the average price across the street at the gas station was $3.03, I filled up for like $2.65 yesterday. That's almost 50-cent difference, which is insane. So wholesale, whether it be BJ's or Costco or Sam's Club, yes, is it so annoying to have to go and sit in line for gas? Yes, it is. But it's no different than during hurricane season when they tell us the hurricane's coming, when everybody flees to the gas station to fill up their vehicles. To me, it's worth it because, like, for example, I paid $110 for my BJ's Plus membership, and I think by the end of this year, I will probably make that back up in savings for how much I spend on gas. So far, I've spent like $30-something on gasoline. Actually, that's way off. Maybe closer to $40 or $50 so far since I've been driving my car, obviously, because I'm no longer driving the PI car. That is a way to kind of offset the price of gas. It is 150% worth it. Gas prices are what they are. We can't control them. So, and there's, different thoughts on who controls what. I'm not going to get into that in this video or probably ever any video. But the point of the matter is the wholesale gasoline is a way to beat the system. Is it a pain to have to pay for a membership? Yes, of course it is. But when the savings are, enough to cover the membership, it's worth it. And yes, it's annoying to have to go drive all the way to the BJ's to fuel up every week. But you know what? To me, it's worth it. It's one thing I can do on a Saturday or Sunday that will get me through the week, and I get a lot of joy from seeing the price I pay compared to everywhere else. All right, so what's interesting, if you want to go down the yoo-hoo rabbit hole, there's a guy by the name of Stanley Meyer who developed a water-powered engine. He actually died in a restaurant after drinking cranberry juice, and he even said while he was dying, he says, "They've poisoned me." So later in 2006, BMW created a hydrogen version of its 7 Series, proving Meyer's idea that water could play a role in powering a vehicle. All right, moving on. High yield savings accounts. I have talked about this before, but I want to talk about it again because my interest rate on my high yield savings account just increased from 4.35% to 4.5%, which is like, woohoo! It's exciting to watch your money grow with a high yield savings account. I mean, even if it's just like $100 a month, it's still something. And yes, you have to pay taxes on it. I'm gonna have to figure that out because it's tax season's coming up. Anyway, the purpose of my channel is, and what I want my channel to be, is to help others as we navigate this whole life that is being an adult. And yes, I'm a Gen Z, Zillennial, whatever. People might say, Sarah, you're too young to know anything. Okay, well, guess what? Everyone who ever learned something learned by doing, and that's what I'm doing, is learning by doing. Just because I'm allowed to have an opinion, I'm allowed to say these things, I'm allowed to ask questions like, hello, how do you think everybody else did it before us? Generations before us did it. It's asking questions, finding out the information. I'm starting to sound like my background's in journalism. The premise of journalism is asking questions. That's what I do. The whole thing with a high yield savings account is that your money is not just sitting stagnant. The worst thing for your money to be in is a checking account, and that's just my opinion. A checking account has a 0.01% interest rate. No one's gaining anything on that. I use Goldman Sachs and the Apple Card. I was approved for the Apple Card upon starting working full time. I was rejected so many times. And then when, finally they were like, oh, sure. Apple Card, I get 1%, 2%, and 3% back. that money, I have it set up so that it goes into that high yield savings account, which is now pulling 4.5% interest, which is absolutely fantastic. So that adds to the total balance in my savings account at the end of every month, which is wonderful. And it's just like a good way to grow your money. Now, yeah, there are other ways to do it, but like, it's just a good way to grow your money. So now moving on to the last segment of our car chat today, which is balancing life and an update on my new job. By now, you guys know that I work for a different attorney's office now. I'm doing the same thing that I was doing at my previous attorney's office, but now I'm doing it for a different attorney. It's a very relaxed environment compared to what I'm used to, so that is refreshing. I came home and told my mom after day 1 at that job, I said, this is the environment that I need in order to get through my next few years of grad school. I also love that we use Mac, which I am an Apple girl through and through. I've always loved Mac. I didn't actually get my first Mac until my first semester of college. Well, actually right before my first semester. And I will say Mac is the way to go because it's just so much better than Windows. That's just me personally. But I've never seen an actual business use Mac. And I'm like, whoa. So that's cool. In some ways, I do believe that being able to use Mac at work is actually preparing me for a future position. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know what God's plan is, but God only knows is all I'm going to say. So anyway, there's that. This week was also the first week I turned in an assignment late for grad school. It was a discussion post, okay? And the first post is technically due by 11:59 on Thursday night. I've talked about this before. In my defense, I was working on it the night it was due, but then I fell asleep and I woke up with 4 minutes to spare until 11:59. I'm not going to try to squeeze this in before I go to sleep, I just turned it in the next night and said, forget about it. I'm like, I know that I might get points off for it, but like, what do you want me to do? It's not like I'm turning in like a major assignment late, although I have done that before. I did that my first semester. So then this week I was really frustrated with my assignments because there was a 20-page case study that we had to read, right? And which I did read. The case study, though, said the exact same thing over and over and over again. And that thing was, more research is needed. Then I had to write a 6-page paper on said case study. I didn't even understand when I read it. And I was like, this is like causing me so much stress. I literally was sitting in my recliner last night reading this paper, trying to get this paper done. And I'm like, it was insane. Like I was brewing coffee to stay awake because I couldn't stay awake. What? And so that was fun, but I did sleep really well this morning, even after drinking coffee last night. Coffee does not keep me awake anymore, so I'm glad about that. And then I completed my discussion post this afternoon and also my journal entry, and then my case study, I'm tweaking it just a little bit more before I submit it. I am not expecting, I hope I'll get a good grade on it, but I'm like, this is my first case study that I've done with this class. I don't know what the expectation is. I'm going to tweak that before I turn it in and then turn it in, and then we will go on to the next week and prosper. And on that note, I'll say this. I think anybody struggles with balancing their life and really anything outside of work, but it's definitely difficult. And to me, my graduate program is basically like a second job. It's like trying to do all that, but all I can say is thank goodness I live at home. I hope you guys enjoyed this car chat. It's definitely a little bit unusual compared to what my normal car chats are, because normally I talk about topics that are less related to me and more related to what everyone else is going through. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. I post new videos when I get them edited. I'm not going to commit myself to 1 day a week. I'm just going to try to say when the next video is ready, I'll post it. And that's unfortunately how I got out of the loop with my posting schedule the last time, but I think we can probably make it work. It's just really obviously hard to balance everything and to find those nuggets of time. Now that I'm actually leaving earlier for work, like I have quite a commute now, whereas before I didn't have much of a commute. So I have a little bit less time in the morning to sit on my computer and edit. So anyway, it's just trying to figure out time, trying to carve out time to actually do this is what's definitely a challenge. But we're going to try to keep up the momentum for this semester and get through it. I know we can do it. So I'm done rambling now, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.